I would like to discuss the summer visitation schedule if you have the time today. I was hoping you would be willing to switch the days I get the children to every other weekend and then every Wednesday and Thursday instead of Monday and Tuesday. Unfortunately, I cannot agree to that, as interrupting their schedules here in the middle of every week will prevent the children from attending any camps or activities due to how far you claim to live. I am happy to agree in writing to transport the children to any scheduled activities they may have on these days, barring emergency. Would this work for you? While I appreciate the gesture, I unfortunately cannot agree to this. Even with the written agreement, you have proven time and time again that I am unable to trust you or your word. You have proven time and time again that you choose to continue the abusing and manipulation you have always committed towards me, and I no longer have any good faith left to extend. I hope we can work this out to benefit everyone instead of only yourself. I will contact my attorney and work on this topic, and we will reach out with an agreement that is mutually beneficial. I have to ask, just to clarify, are you or are you not willing to work with me on the summer visitation schedule? I fear that I am unsure of your position on the topic due to your constant, unsubstantiated anger towards me. Are you willing to provide your actual living address, or even simply the town you are actually residing in? Honesty would help me feel more comfortable with any agreements outside of the order. As I have stated multiple times, my address where I have placement of the kids and where my mail is delivered to is my parents' house. Anything other than that I prefer to keep private for mine and my partner's preference, and will be keeping it that way. I will let you know that my girlfriend and I are in the process of securing a residence together. This will benefit you by the exchange location being made much shorter on all parties. As the children have informed me multiple times now, they have been staying at your girlfriend's apartment every weekend with you. And I should have been made aware of this location by you and not the children. At this time, I will not and do not have an answer to any other questions you have posed. Your obsession with me is making me fear for my safety. For the next few months, we had no choice but to continue making the almost 3-hour drive for Neko to have his parenting time with the kids. During this time, he finally began the domestic violence offender program that he had been court-ordered to attend. After he had been attending the program for a little over a month, I received a call from the therapist that had been working with Neko. Hi, I am attempting to reach out to a Miss Harper Blank. Is this her? Yes, this is her. Who is this? My name is Dr. Blank, and I have been working with your ex-husband as he works the domestic violence program. Were you aware that he was attending this program? Yes, I was aware that the judge had ordered it. Is there anything I am needing to do while he is in the program? No, not at all. I was actually calling you because I have some major concerns regarding your safety and the children's safety due to Neko's behaviors. Safety? Has he been making threats towards us or something? Not directly, but there have been multiple indirect comments that have raised multiple red flags for the staff here. I'm sorry. Can you be more direct about this? Not to be rude, but I'm starting to get pretty freaked out with what you're saying. To put it frankly, Mom, I believe that Mr. Blank is a narcissist with psychopathic tendencies, without extreme interventions and successful treatments. I have major doubts he will ever be able to be a healthy member of society. Is that all? Because honestly, I was under the assumption that he was a narcissist for years now. No, there is more. I have been told by other members of the program that Mr. Blank has been attempting to recruit others to help harass you and your family. He, of course, has fully denied this, and there is no hard evidence to prove he has done so. But I have been told this by multiple members of the class, and I have very real concerns due to this. Oh my God! Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I will have to let my attorney know what's going on. That's terrifying. Please do take this seriously. If nothing comes from it, then no harm. But men like Neko are unpredictable and extremely dangerous when provoked. There is no telling exactly what he is capable of. After speaking to the therapist, I immediately called my attorney and the police to report what I was told. Par the course, I was told by police that since there was no evidence of an actual threat, there was nothing they could do. Have a great time with the kids, Harper. Make sure you guys stay safe while Eugene is out of town this week. I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Eugene has a work trip this week, right? Just saying, if you need anything, you know I am nearby. Don't hesitate to reach out. I don't know what you're referring to, but Eugene is going to be home all week. Well, that's not what I was told, and no matter what, we're still family, right? So I want you to know I'm always here to help if you need someone. Whoever told you that clearly had the wrong information, and there is no reason for you to be getting information on my family anyways. There's no need to get so upset about my offer to help Harper. You know I would never do anything to hurt you or the kids. I talked to my job, and they agreed I would be able to switch my work trip to next week instead of this week. You didn't have to do that. I know how important this trip is, and I don't need you getting in trouble and losing your job or something. I won't get in trouble as long as I go next week. It will be fine. I just don't feel comfortable leaving you guys here alone when Neko said what he said at exchange. I know, but we can't live in fear for the rest of our lives. We have protection, and the neighbors know what Neko looks like and to look out for us when you're gone. I'm not afraid of him, trust me. I just want to be here if he tries something with you thinking I am gone. I need to be here. You heard what the therapist told you he was doing. You shouldn't have to put your job at risk because of him, though. If he shows up or something, I will call the police, same as I would do if he showed up while you were at work like normal. Fine, then think of it as it's just for my peace of mind, okay? It makes me feel better switching my trip dates. Nothing to do with him or your ability to keep you and the kids safe. 911. What is the address of your emergency? Blank address. My ex-husband is standing on my property line staring into my home. It's like midnight. My husband is out of town, and he has a history of violence against me. Does your ex have any W3 app-ons on him? No, I don't know. It's dark. I can't tell from that far away. There's no reason for him to be here, though, and he should have no idea that my husband isn't home. He waited until the day he left. I'm scared he is going to try to break in. Does it appear that he is trying to get closer to your home? Maybe he reached out about an emergency and you haven't seen the message? The only emergency is that he is here. He is not welcome at my house or on my property. He has hurt me in the past, and I am home alone with 4 children in the home. And I need officers to get here now. Okay, I understand, ma'am. An officer will be dispatched to your location shortly. Just stay in your home and do not attempt to make contact with your ex. About 30 minutes later, officers arrived at the house. I watched as they approached Neko, spoke to him for a few moments, went back to their patrol car, and then waved him on his way. Neko waved towards the house, and it looked like he was apologizing. All right, Mom, we told Blank he is not welcome on the property, and he needed to leave. Don't you worry. I personally warned him I would be taking him down to the station if he showed back up here tonight. That's it. Why was he even here? Technically, he was never actually on your property. I'm sure you are aware that you live right next to the public park. Your ex said he was headed to the walking track to go for a run, and claims he didn't even realize this was your new home. Completely coincidental. A run at midnight, you can't honestly believe that. I see stranger things happen every day on the job. He seemed pretty sincere in his apology for startling you and wanted us to pass along his apologies. And he assured us he would find a different track to run on. And when he unalives me, will you think his apologies are sincere too? I'm packing up my stuff right now and I'm heading home. I knew I should have never left, even after I changed the travel dates. No, don't do that. You cannot lose your job. I already called my mom, and she said I could take the kids there and stay for the week. We are going to be completely safe there. You shouldn't have to take the kids out of bed in the middle of the night because of that jackass. Even if you were to come home right now, I'd still have to wake the kids up and leave right now. You wouldn't be able to make it here until tomorrow morning at the earliest. So let me handle this. And you stay there and finish what you have to do. First thing I'm going to do when I get home is be three at his ass until he gets it through his head that he can't mess with this family anymore. You can't do that either. Nothing would make him happier. He's doing all of this to get under our skin and make us lose it. Don't give him that power. He won't have any power if he's unalive. Hey, Middle, what's going on? You look really upset. Did something happen? Asterisk begins to cry hysterically. Asterisk, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you. Something clearly is wrong. I can't help if you don't tell me. Tara told me and oldest that Eugene has to take shots every day because he's an alcoholic. And if we want to get him help so he gets better, we need to tell everyone how much he drinks. And if we don't tell people to get Eugene help, then we will end up not being allowed to see Daddy again. Who is Tara? That's the lady Daddy lives with, his new girlfriend. Okay, well, you all know the reason that Eugene has to take shots is because he is diabetic. He's not an alcoholic, and it sounds like someone is trying to make up a story about Eugene. So I don't have to lie to people and tell them Eugene drinks all the time. No, Bud, you don't. Did Dad hear Tara saying this stuff to you? Yeah, he was right there. He heard everything. The kids shared some extremely concerning conversations they had with you and your girlfriend during your parenting time this week regarding Eugene. The kids stated that Tara told them the shots he takes daily are because he is an alcoholic. I was also told they were instructed by the both of you to tell people they see Eugene drink constantly when that is not true. You need to stop manipulating these children immediately. This has already been addressed multiple times in and out of court. Your statements are false. And your actions only serve to further hurt the kids by putting them in these situations. For future reference, please remember to put the children first and focus on their best interests. Thank you. I can assure you this is not a factual representation of what was discussed. Son asked me why Eugene was not at his game on the 19th. And he must have drawn his own conclusion as to why Eugene was in the hospital when I told him he was sick. Tara and I are both extremely confused by your statements as they are so far from reality that they are absurd at this point. How would you be aware that Eugene was in the hospital on the 19th and missed Son's game? Son was not even aware he had a game that day and he missed it himself. So he wouldn't ask you why Eugene wasn't there. The children all stayed with my mother that night while I handled Eugene's hospital visit. So the kids wouldn't have even been aware anyone was in the hospital. So how would you have the exact knowledge of his hospitalization? I don't understand how this is so confusing for you. In the future, perhaps it would help to reach out to me first before attempting to interrogate young children. The fact that your fiancé can't control his diabetes and ended up in ketoacidosis is not a reason to harass me. And by the way, Tara works in the medical field. She would never tell children to lie about someone being an alcoholic. She is nothing but the utmost professional. Does she happen to work at the same hospital Eugene was treated in? Where she works is none of your concern. After Neko realized his mistake with admitting that Tara worked at the hospital that Eugene was seen at, he immediately stopped communicating with me, as peaceful as this time period was. It was also extremely unsettling. I never knew when the other shoe would drop. While he still enjoyed making my life more difficult by forcing me to continue to drive the long distance for child exchanges, he at least stopped attempting to stalk and harass me at every opportunity. During this time period, I was able to make a lot of progress in both mine and my children's lives. They began to thrive in their extracurricular activities. Middle began reading intervention and finally caught up to grade level, and they connected with a new therapist that worked wonders. Eugene and I agreed not to push the issue of his girlfriend potentially accessing Eugene's medical records, believing that the fallout from doing so would be too detrimental when the kids were doing so well. My therapist also began focusing on helping me, no longer allowing my fear of Neko to control my life so much. This skill definitely came in handy very quickly. I had sent you multiple receipts for the children's medical care, extracurriculars, and dental. Please ensure to send your portion of these bills by the required deadline. Thank you. I am failing to understand the confusion here. As you have continued to disregard the court order regarding these topics, I will continue to use my right to deny you access to my money. Please explain how I have failed to follow order. You have denied me the right to give my consent for these appointments or extracurricular expenses, while we all want what's best for the kids. I am sure you can understand the frustration I feel being left out of important conversations like these. You are referring to their necessary medical appointments and extracurriculars they have been in for years. These have all been discussed and agreed upon multiple times. It is possible for a person to change their minds and revoke their consent to certain things. This is something you should take into consideration. Hi, Neko. Just looking for clarification here. Why is Tara being added as a parent on OFW? I imagine for the same reason that Eugene has been added as a parent on the kids' information. He has been added as a parent or guardian on their information for extracurriculars and school because he lives in the home with the kids and is their stepfather. You've been dating Tara for a few weeks. That is not the same. It very much is the same thing. She is my significant other and should be treated with the same amount of respect that Eugene has always been shown. I have also called to add her to the kids' school information and doctor's contacts. She and I believe we can all work together to give the kids the best out of life. I will be calling to correct this immediately. I am not comfortable with a literal stranger having access to my children's information. I fail to understand why you are the ultimate authority on what is best for our kids. I will not be lectured by my ex on the proper way to engage in a relationship. If you knew how to do this, we would still be married. I was offered a position through blank school district. It would not be at the same school that you currently work at, but I will have the same work schedule as you. If you would prefer changing exchanges to school release, we can do so. I do not want you working for my employer. It would not be through your school. It is simply the same district, and it is not up to you to decide if I accept this job. I am simply informing you of the change as I am ordered to, and offering to make life easier for the both of us. The district is my employer. I will not have someone who has devoted the last few years of their life to harass and Abu Dollar me have access to my livelihood in any way. I will be informing my higher-ups that you are not a good candidate to fill this position. Nico, I have not done anything to harass or abandon you. I also will not allow you to risk my employment at a position that will greatly benefit my family. If you choose to go that route, I will have no choice but to explain what has really taken place over the last few years. Ultimately, that would not go well for either of us.